The NFL schedule is out, and we're breaking down each division. Right now, we're gonna do the NFC West. Rob, what are your highs and lows on that division? What do you think is gonna go down?
First things first, I want to give up my winner. The winner, in my opinion, is going to be the Arizona Cardinals. This right here is going to be highly predicated about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, in my opinion, had some of the best tape I have ever seen as a prospect for a quarterback. It was absolutely insane. Now, obviously, his height was a little bit the throw off, but in regards to tape, numbers, measurements, in regards to actual speed and stuff like that, he was absolutely insane. I personally believe that he didn't necessarily take the leap that I wanted him to take his sophomore season. I think his third year, he's definitely going to take that leap. He didn't necessarily fall off by any means. He didn't necessarily completely disappoint. I just personally believe that this year is probably going to be his year, and also the team around him is getting better. They're getting a little bit older. I think they're a little bit more seasoned now. They're a little bit more used to winning. Of course, you understand a couple seasons before that when they're going through the Josh Rosen situation, they're basically losing every other game, and I think now it's not necessarily like a surprise to be winning. Now it's going to be required for them to win. And I absolutely love that. The number two in that division, in my opinion, is going to have to be the Los Angeles Rams. This right here is also going to be predicated about the quarterback Matthew Stafford. This guy, and everybody's been praising him. People have been saying that hey, he was just always on a bad team or a bad organization. Now he has a chance to really come out and show people exactly what's going on. Oh, by the way, I didn't necessarily give my record for the Arizona Cardinals. I believe the Cardinals are probably going to go. I give it 13-4. Now the Los Angeles Rams, I'm going to give them 11-6. I personally believe that they're going to go 11-6 and make the wild card. They have a very good team, and of course, a lot of people have been saying all they need is a very good, stable quarterback. You give your genius coach Sean McVay a decent quarterback. The quarterback's going to do what he needs to do, not necessarily make a lot of mistakes like Jared Goff was making. Even in the playoffs when Jared Goff came back, I mean, he's pretty much like not necessarily the best quarterback, but he pretty much put up a fight. I mean, if he had a better quarterback, arguably he could have basically won or beaten the Patriots back when they were in the Super Bowl. So give Sean McVay a decent quarterback. Let's see exactly what he could do. Now, third, I'm gonna have the Seattle Seahawks. I personally believe that they're probably gonna be middle of the pack. I'm gonna give them 8-9. I just
Wow.
personally believe that they're pretty much set up to not necessarily do as well as they did before. Russell Wilson is disgruntled. They basically didn't necessarily do a lot of things that he wanted them to do during the offseason. I just don't necessarily think that they did a lot, for the defense over the offseason. Of course, they did get better throughout the free agency, but I don't necessarily think it was enough, in my personal opinion. Of course, the last is going to be the San Francisco 49ers. Now, they have a very good roster. I just don't necessarily think, their quarterback situation is going to be up to par. We don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to get benched throughout the season for their rookie quarterback, Trey Lance. I just can't necessarily put a lot of faith in them. I'm gonna personally say they go 5-12.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I do have San Francisco going 5-12, mainly because of that defense with Nick Bosa and those guys that they have in the secondary, along with some guys in the front seven. But yeah, I think the biggest thing for them is Trey Lance and how is he going to be? Is he even going to beat out Jimmy G for the starting job? They have Kittle, who in my opinion is the best tight end in the game, but at the end of the day, I think they still need more offense than that. No debate there that they're going to be last in that division. I actually have I do have the Cardinals winning that division, but I don't have them going crazy like on a run. I have them winning 10 games and losing 7. Here's why. I do think Kyler Murray is going to take another step forward and get better. They have D Hop, who I think is the best wide receiver in the game, and just because they signed, J.J. Watt and A.J. Green, those are some very high value players, some big names, and when they're healthy, if they're even 80% of what they used to be, they're going to be some big contributors. But the thing is, they can't stay healthy. So I'm taking into account this season that they're not going to be able to play a full season, and that's why I give them a 10-7 record. Because if this was a healthy J.J. Watt and a healthy A.J. Green, I might have them winning maybe 14 games, 13 games. But in the second place is going to be a toss up between Seattle and LA. Here's why. I think Russell Wilson has earned the respect of even though the team isn't looks like it's in shambles right now, he's going to find a way to at least compete for a wild card. I have them going 9-8, and that's solely because of Russell Wilson. He has like an Aaron Rodgers effect and situation there in Seattle. And then finally with the Rams, I have them going. I couldn't decide if I wanted to say 8-9 or 9-8. I'm leaning more towards 8-9 only because I've never really been a fan of Matthew Stafford. I know he was, he's a good quarterback. He's a quality quarterback, but at the end of the day, it's just something about the Rams. They had their I think they missed a window when they went to the Super Bowl and they just couldn't get it done. That defense is only getting older. There's no guys that pop out on the offensive side of the ball besides Matthew Stafford.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys. I don't really appreciate it's not really disrespect, but I feel like you guys are underestimating the power of Russell Wilson. I have the Seattle Seahawks winning that division, going 13-4.
Whoa.
Yeah, I have them going 13-4, man.
13.
I feel like this year we're gonna see a pissed off Russell Wilson, possibly another MVP season. Russell Wilson. I feel like he's gonna go on a tear. He's gonna put the league on notice, like, yo, I'm that guy. Get me out of here. Somebody come scoop me up and put me on a team where they want us to win, not passing the ball on 1st and 3 in the Super Bowl. But we're not gonna get into that. I feel like Russell Wilson does have the willpower and the skill to take the Seattle Seahawks to win 13 games. Now, this is where it gets a little shaky. It can switch from these two teams. The middle of the pack teams, I have the Rams and the Cardinals. I have the Cardinals 9-8, and I have the Rams 10-7. I see you guys have high praise for the Cardinals, and I think they're a really good team on paper. They just have to stay healthy. If they find a way to stay healthy, man, they can even win maybe 11 games. They can be the wild card team. But I feel like they still have some things that they need to figure out. That's why I have them at 9-8. And then the Rams, I have them at 10-7. Last year they were 10-6 with Jared Goff in a 16-game season. Maybe they win one more game than my prediction, 11 games. But I feel like Matthew Stafford would be responsible for the losses that Jared Goff. Let me see if I word that right. The losses that Jared Goff was responsible for are going to be the wins that Matthew Stafford is going to be responsible for in this upcoming season. I feel like they fumbled the bag down the stretch. They weren't winning the games they were supposed to, and I feel like a main part of that was Jared Goff just not being good, or maybe Jared Goff and Sean McVay weren't seeing eye to eye. Maybe that's what was going on with that offense, but I feel like Matthew Stafford is going to take this team over the hump, get them back in the playoffs, and see where they go after that. And then the 49ers, I have them going 8-9. I see them battling with quarterback issues throughout the season. Like Tyler said, they have a really good team on paper. They have the talent to win games. I just don't see them figuring it out. They have a pretty tough schedule. I don't see them figuring it out, and I have them at 8-9, which isn't a terrible record. It's just not good.
Here's my opinion about the Cardinals. Why I have them so high? Again, it's really all predicated by Kyler Murray. But even bigger than that, I believe that their offense is just going to be absolutely insane. Not necessarily just only predicated by Kyler Murray. They have a whole bunch of weapons. Their coach is pretty much the offensive genius. He was basically hired for that exact purpose. And I just believe that they're probably going to put a very good system together.
Yeah, and I think you said you had Seattle winning how many? 13 games?
Yeah, I have them going 13-4, man.
I don't know, off the simple fact that guys, all of last season it was a matter of, can Russell Wilson put up 35 points on the offensive end to give his team a chance to win the game. Now I think teams realize, okay, this is their game plan. It's going to be whatever Russell Wilson can come up with on offense, and I think they're going to really lock in and focus on Russell Wilson, and that's what's going to be the biggest difference maker this season. Why? Because even last season they did go 12-4, and like I said, that's because of the greatness of Russell Wilson. It depends on how he is this season. But I don't know. I think one, having that extra game, and two, guys, teams having film. I don't think it's going to be possible, man. It's going to be tough for him to be the soul of the offense, the heart and soul of the offense every single week.
I mean, I think we've seen Russell Wilson try to cook. I mean, they told him, like, hey, go out and score a bunch of points. I mean, he was good for the first couple of games, but after the first couple of games and people understood and people started to key in on Russell Wilson, people understood. I mean, he started to throw a lot of picks. He wasn't necessarily cooking as people thought he was going to cook. I made this reference a couple of days ago. People wanted him to started cooking with Colin Murray, some Chateau wine, but he ended up bringing home some ramen noodles towards the end of the season. I mean, that's pretty much it.
I definitely think this is a division we should keep our eyes on, just like the NFC East. I feel like the NFC West is Going to be really competitive going down the stretch. Definitely let us know in the comments down below who do you guys think is going to win the division.